So, I've just gone out of Haikyu, the movie, but this is actually called Haikyu, the Dumpster Battle, here in the UK. And what did I think of this one? Well, this is a great time. If you're a fan of the anime, you're really gonna love this. But if you're like me, who's only seen half of season 1 and watched the entire recaps before this movie, you're still gonna have a great time with this one. Let's get into it. Hey everyone, what's going on? Welcome to the channel and thank you so much for taking your own time out to check out this review. My name's Mike, and yeah, as I mentioned in the introduction, I've only seen half of season 1, and then the rest of it I watched on recaps before going to see this movie. Now, you might be wondering, well, why the heck would you even do that? It's because I really want to get into Haikyu. My brothers absolutely love it, and my good friend Alex really loves it, but I just didn't have the time. I tried to spare as much time as I could before this movie was released, but here in the UK, it's pretty much only got a 3-4 day release, very maximum, with very limited showings per day. And then besides that, I also work 11-hour shifts, pretty much primarily most of the time this has been out. I have caught this on its last day in the cinema run, as far as I'm aware, in my local area. So I know that was a little bit of a whirlwind today again, but that is my reasoning and explanation as to why I've not seen every single episode. But as I say, I watched tons of recaps before going into this, so I knew exactly what was going on and I wouldn't be completely lost. And I'm glad to say I absolutely wasn't. So this is directed by Susumu Mitsunaka, and it was released officially on May 31st in America, and I believe also here in the UK. Now, if you're wondering, okay, well, Mike, what is Haikyu, the Dumpster Battle, all around? Especially if you've never seen the anime, or maybe you've seen it little bits like I have, or recaps. What's going on? Okay, so this tells a story of Karasuno High School and Nekoma High School, where they have played off in the first season in a practice match, with Nekoma High School getting the victory. However, this time around in the Spring Nationals tournament, these two teams are going to play off for the first ever time in an official match to see who will progress to the next round in the tournament. So this has been building up over the Haikyu previous seasons, with it definitely amping up the intensity and the skills and the endurance that these players have going into the next volleyball match. Now, of course, we've got all of our returning cast here, and all of our characters that we know and love are back once again, but this time on the big screen, where the animation is absolutely awesome. I really like that it keeps the animation style of the series that we know, but it just amps it up and gives us that little bit more polish and pristine look, especially as they've got more capability of doing that on the big screen with better picture quality. And they absolutely utilize that. The volleyball action, as you guys can imagine, is absolutely terrific, because most of this movie is just about these two teams facing off in this match, which, as it should be, right? That's the whole point of it being called the Dumpster Battle, the cats and the crows, right? So this whole movie focuses on that in about an hour and 25-minute runtime, so it's not a long runtime whatsoever. This movie breezed by pretty easily, but besides focusing on the volleyball match and the high stakes at play, and of course the losing team will be knocked out of the tournament, we also get some backstory, especially on the character of Kenma, who is for Nekoma High School. And I really like that aspect, because I think Kenma is a really cool character. We've only seen glimpses of the character throughout the seasons so far, but his character arc here is expanded upon, which is really awesome to have, especially as we want to get more attached and get to know these characters a lot more than we already do. So they have been to do a great job in terms of the screenplay with giving our characters more depth and more layers to them than just being a volleyball player, which ultimately, yes, they all are that, but ultimately you want to be able to be invested in these characters, see how they grow from day one with Shoyo Hinata, going from just seeing, on TV his volleyball match, and then he wanted to become a volleyball player. So seeing him starting from that position to get into this round in the spring nationals is quite some journey, which of course the anime explores a lot upon that, but in this movie they definitely dive even deeper into that journey, and it's definitely satisfying and rewarding, because throughout, if you are going into this with, like me, you know, seen half of season and a lot of recaps, or you're just taking an absolute punt and okay, wondering, you know, I'm just going to take a punt on this movie, I'm just going to check it out for the sake of it, this does actually give you some flashbacks as to some elements that's happened in the show already, which can catch you up a little bit to speed, but of course you're not going to get the full intensity, the full passion, and the full desired outcome that you would get if you are very familiar with the anime. Make sure to stick around at the end of the movie, because there's a big post-credit scene that's going to lead into the future events of what can happen next. Only negatives that I've got, and this may have just been the adaptation given over to us in the United States and also England, with the subtitles. And you might be wondering, well, Mike, what do you mean by the subtitles? So, of course, it's not for the entire movie, right? It's only a few scenes here or there. But they have subtitles where, for example, Kenma might be talking to one of his teammates. So you've got the subtitles here of their conversation, right? But then if some people's talking in the background, you've got their subtitles here. And there's not really much gap between the two conversations. So you're trying to be like, right, okay, so I should be reading this one, but I also want to read what this bottom one says. Maybe it's the crowd cheering, maybe it's other teammates talking, maybe it's like a kind of partial conversations you can hear from the other team. The subtitles were really squished together. I found that some of these scenes had, where I was kind of losing focus a little bit of trying to read all of them to get the full aspect of what was going on, which you can, but I would have just liked a little bit more separation or a little bit of more kind of time difference with those subtitles, or maybe eliminate some kind of the background noise and just focus primarily on the conversation that we're having at hand. So there was only kind of one or two moments that did happen. And then the last part I had with a kind of a nitpick with, again, the subtitles was when we see the scoreboard that shows Harasuno and Nekuma High School, of course, like, say like that distance, right, on the scorecard, like that distance, but the subtitles are like that, like right next to each other. So of course you can kind of tell which one's which, but I just think they should have separated the subtitles out a little bit further just to correspond with the actual symbols and lettering for the team. The overall score is a 3.5 stars out of 5. Have you seen this one? Are you going to check it out? Let me know down below in the comment section so we can continue the discussion down there. If you've enjoyed this review, certainly give it a big thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you already haven't. Big thanks to all my awesome Patreons who help to really support the channel. Absolute legends. If you want to join today, only £2 per month. The link is down below in the description box. And finally, if you click over here, you can see more anime reviews of mine that I have done in the past of several anime movies that I always check out in the cinema if they come to a cinema near me. And until the next time that I see you guys, I'll be seeing you later.